Hey, hope y'all are doing okay. All right, so let's go through this week. You've got part 2 of the muscle chapter. I know part 1 last week was a lot of like background information and microscopic structure and things like that. So part 2 is going to deal with just like going through and naming the muscles. We're going to talk about muscles that move your arms and muscles that move your hand and wrist and kind of break through. It reminds me a lot, if you remember the skeletal system chapters. Part 1 was like all the background information. Part 2 was going through and naming the bones. Same thing. Part 2 is going to be mostly naming the muscles, but don't think, oh, that means I can skip it, because we're going to talk about what those muscles do. That's going to make up a big portion of what you're going to see on your exam next week. All right. After you have done that, I sent you a message about this last week, but just as a reminder, you've got a video for the muscles of the head, shoulders, and arms. These are going to be split up just like we did the bones. We had bone exam 1, and then we had a second bone exam. So instead of giving you a test on all the muscles and all the origins and insertions and actions, I'm splitting it up. The only ones you are going to have on this next lab exam next week are the muscles of your head, shoulders, and arms. All right. So I've recorded a video for that. Listen, I know I can go through and like look at the views. I know most of you are not watching those lab videos. And I get it. They're not like you got labeled images and you can think, well, I'm just going to focus on that. But if you'll watch the videos, I'm going to explain the muscles to you. I've got the models out. I'm going to rotate and show you what they look like. And if you'll watch those, it's going to make you understand instead of just like memorizing pictures. If you just memorize the pictures, that's where you get in trouble on the lab test, because it might not look exactly the same. But if you know them, if you understand them and you know what the muscles are and where they're located, you're going to really get it and you're going to do better on the lab test. So just free advice, make sure you're watching those. It'll pay off when you do the lab test, all right? Especially on this one, because remember, you're going to have to know the origin, insertion, and action for all the muscles that we covered, all right? So watch that. You can read the instructions. I've got a review PowerPoint. You've got a list of all the muscles you're going to need to know, and that list has their origin, insertion, and action. So make sure you look at that. And then your Connect assignment for the muscles of head, shoulders, and arms, that's also going to be due this Sunday, November 8th. All right? Guys, those Connect assignments, you get to retake them until you get a perfect grade. That when I put this in the class, now we all have to do Connect. It's not like my choice. Every single anatomy class has to do Connect at Gadsden State. But when we started doing that, I was thinking, well, this is great for students because all you have to do is keep doing it until you get all your points. This is supposed to help your grade, and it should. But a lot of you are forgetting them. It's like you've got Connect because you've done assignments in the past, but you're just skipping them lately. That can really hurt your grade at the end of the semester. So make sure that you're doing these on time, get all the points, and it'll help you learn too. All right. Okay, so that's it for this week. The muscle chapter part 2 lecture video, you can watch those lab videos, and then the Connect assignment. And then just a reminder, next week we got 2 exams. We had a week like this earlier in the semester where you're going to have a lecture exam on Monday and Tuesday is when that's going to be available. So that lecture exam is going to cover chapter 8 and 9. 8 was the joints that we did a few weeks back, and then 9 is the muscle chapter. All right. So that's the lecture exam. That's Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, you get off day. We don't have anything due then. And then Thursday and Friday is going to be the lab exam. I know that sounds like a lot, and I get it. This is kind of how the schedule had to work this semester. But the good news is that lab exam is going to be on the same muscles that you had to know for the lecture exam. So it's not like I'm asking you 2 totally different things. They should kind of line up pretty good too. All right. So just be aware of those. Definitely study. Start preparing for that. And if you have any questions about any of that, let me know before the test, and I'll try to help you out. Okay? If you need anything, let me know, and I'll help.